The Mahoning Valley Daily Podcast.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Mahoning Valley Daily Podcast. It is September 2nd, and I am your host, Ron Cabuno. First, I want to say thank you very much to the great response that we got for yesterday's show regarding the emergency school board meeting at Boardman regarding the mask mandate. It was just nice to be able to get the viewpoint out there and have some feedback from the community, so I thank you all very much. On that topic, there was a quote that I heard the other day that goes part and parcel with what we're trying to get done here. It goes as such: our independence is a product of our interdependence. Think about that for a while, because we are only able to stay free if we work together. Imagine that. I want to touch briefly on the flooding that we saw in New York City. There have been over a dozen people killed. Apparently, there was over 4 inches of rain in 1 hour yesterday. And that is record-breaking only because it broke the week before's record of like 3.5 inches in an hour from Hurricane Henri, or tropical storm when it got there. If you don't believe in climate change and you don't believe in its adverse effects, you obviously aren't watching the news or sticking your head out the window. We're going to have to do something about this stuff really quick. In other terrible news, apparently the guy that I saw and commented on Monday after Ida went through New Orleans, the white dude who went and accosted the news reporter while on camera, just got out of his truck and started screaming at him about accuracy, was a guy from Ohio. Mr. Benjamin Dagley of Worcester made himself famous and was on the news, and now he has a warrant out for his arrest. He was also already on probation. So thank you very much, Ohio, for exporting your specific brand of crazy to other states. We're all very proud. Also in the news, Mr. Joe Rogan, the extremely popular, #1 podcaster in the entire world. The guy who says, I'm just an MMA commentator, and yet has a platform where he gives conspiracists and anti-vaxxers and vaccine denialists all the room they want to spout whatever they gotta say. He's got COVID. Not only that, but he's taking this extreme cocktail to make sure he mitigates any of the effects, which happens to include the horse dewormer in the news, ivermectin. So he's willing to put whatever the hell he wants in his body that is scientifically unfound, but he's not going to suggest that everyone go out and get that vaccine, which has been proven to be completely safe. In good news, I would like to give a kudos to the Mahoning Matters group, the media group that has gotten started within the last few years. They had a fantastic article by apparently one of their very newest reporters, Miss Eartha Hopkins. Shout out to you, Miss. Your How 10 Miles Can Be Worlds Apart article was exactly what I have been thinking about lately. It basically shows that we have such a disconnect from the suburbs to the cities of Youngstown, you couldn't even imagine. Worlds apart is exactly how it should be described, so I definitely recommend that you go check that out as soon as possible. In sports news, Ohio State freshman, who was the #1 recruit in the country, gets a $1.5 million endorsement deal from someone. It doesn't even matter. The big point of this is that he's not even starting this year. How amazing is that you've got somebody riding the pine in your locker room who is making absolute bank? That's not going to cause any animosity at all, right? In a little bit of national news, but it hits close to home, Texas just was able to pass through and get past the Supreme Court a very, very restrictive abortion law, the most restrictive in the nation. Now, I know I'm going to probably make some enemies on this one, but I am pro-choice. And I believe that what we've had for the past however long since Roe versus Wade, in terms of trimester statuses being the indicative guiding force on what principles can be applied, is out the window. Because Roe versus Wade set up that there needs to be free access to abortion in the first trimester. In the second trimester, there needs to be considerations taken. And then in the third trimester, it needs to be left up to the states. Well, This one says that you're basically going to be against the law and illegally performing an abortion anytime after 8 weeks. So those have been banned. And also, you are allowed to go and sue and snitch on anyone who gets an abortion, and you are considered to be a hero. Your court costs are waived, and you are even able to sue the Uber driver who takes the woman to the hospital. I am not kidding. Look this up. It's absolutely ridiculous. And not only that, you had Chief Justice John Roberts siding with the 3 liberals on the court, saying that while the constitutionality of the law has not been fully vetted in this matter, which means they didn't really look at it at all. What they did say was that it wasn't for them to take up in this aspect, and that it was going to have to go down to the lower courts in Texas to be adjudicated properly. Justice Sonia Sotomayor called her conservative colleague's decision stunning, and she said, presented with an application to enjoin a flagrantly unconstitutional law engineered to prohibit women from exercising their constitutional rights and evade judicial scrutiny, a majority of justices have opted to bury their heads in the sand. Basically, what she's saying is you had the opportunity to help these women and to help keep their liberties in place, and you decided to do nothing. I hope they are able to revisit Texas's law once it makes its way through the courts, but I have a feeling that very many women will be adversely affected in the meantime. On a final note, in a kind of good news situation, the FTC has opened a federal investigation with McDonald's regarding their McFlurry and milkshake machines always being broken. They want to know why, because we want to know why. So thank goodness for the Federal Trade Commission for taking a look at stuff that's been sticking a thorn in all of our craws every time we go up there looking for one of those horribly delicious treats. That's all I got for today. Thanks for tuning in. We will see you tomorrow. It's the Mahoning Valley Daily Podcast. Have a good one.